What's up, guys? Rashad with Bad Beats here, and today I'm bringing you the deck that I took to my first store championship for Digimon. I just, recently started playing the game again, and I decided to go to a store championship today. I ended up going X1 after 4 rounds, getting third place. Sorry. There was 12 players here, and it was pretty fun. I'm actually really enjoying this game, so I definitely plan on going to another store championship this month and seeing how my logos are there. So I'm still trying to learn the game. So there's a lot of stuff that I learned today playing with some more like advanced players. Cause like these players were like really good, and like they played like nothing but meta decks. Like there was no like jank or meta stuff or jank or rogue stuff in the room. It was like all just meta decks the whole day. So like I learned a lot and I had a great time. So I'm playing Armor Rush in BT9 format, obviously. Only eggs I play is just for Upamon. Some people play the Demi Vmon so they can swing jamming with the little Vmon and draw a card that way. But a lot of people are just like hard playing stuff to like get the on play effect. So like this egg was always live for me today. So that's the only egg I play. On to the actual deck itself. Play 4 of the Jamming Vmon because he's just really good to Digivolve into your stack in the back. If you fire rocket something and it dies on the top, and he'll hit your second check with jamming, so he'll usually survive. I play 4 of the one that looks at the top 4 for a 2-color blue card because majority of the deck is 2-color blue cards. 3 copies of the one that looks at the top 3 and adds a blue Digimon. These are, kind of similar in that regard since like they pretty much add the same targets. But this one lets you grab Megadeth and your dual tamer. But there were several times a day where I whiffed on this and only revealed blue Digimon that weren't 2-colored. So I kind of wanted to reverse these, but in the long run, I think this one is just a little bit better. And then 2 of the 04 starter deck Vmon. He's really good to have like on your first turn because you're guaranteed to get that extra draw off him. And if they hard play something, you get another draw off Upamon. So you'll get your draw for Digivolve and then 2 additional draws. And then play 2 of the Vmon that gives you a memory when you unsuspend, which, just with Magnamon and then the Davis and Ken Dual Tamer. This one really didn't do much for me at all today. Like, I actually don't think I got the unsuspend effect on this one a single time the entire day. Every other Vmon was amazing today, but I was kind of on the fence of taking this one out, one of these out and bumping this one up to one more, and then pumping up to one more of this. But sometimes, like that memory effect will come up. And then for the armors I played, only 3 Flame Dramon, because like his effect is the worst one. It just gains 3k when he attacks. 4 Ladramon, because suspending stuff is like really good. I had to play Mastermon round 1, and Ladramon being able to suspend Gatomon so I can clear their board was like the reason I won that game. But this one was like perfect. Magnamon can get really big later in the game when you have a lot of armors in the trash. It also unsuspends your Digimon when you evolve into him. So if you swing with the little jamming one and he survives, or you've purged down on like another Vmon and then you go over one of them with Magnamon, it gives you another swing. So like he was really good. He's also a blocker. And then played 4 copies of Magnamon X Antibody. This was like super good for me all day today. He gets to keep the power from Magnamon until the end of the turn. So like if you get him over Magnamon in the same turn later in the game, it kind of like just stops your opponent from attacking for a full turn. And then like he's a heal. Once you get him off, you get to just put him back into your security, and the rest of the stack will stay there. So you'll have your Magnamon blocker under him. So yeah, definitely I liked 4 of this. And this lineup I wouldn't change at all at the moment. This felt like a really good lineup. Every one of these armor cards is searchable by both of your Vmons, your Davises, your blue memory boosts, and all that. So it just felt like really consistent with this lineup. Next to the last couple Digimon I played one Omnimon Merciful mode and one Blitz Omnimon. So the Blitz Omnimon and the Mercy mode both can only go over the this guy. These aren't searchable, but this is. I had this every single game. So and every time I drew these, they were playable. So like these were never dead in my hand. The Blitz for game came up for me today as well to help me win a game. So like I'm really glad I included this card. And I had to play the mirror match, and this is actually what won me the mirror match. So he had the Magnamon X. I didn't have any Megadeths, but I also had a Magnamon X, and then I had this. So basically, I had to evolve over my Magnamon with Mercy Mode to pop his Magnamon so that I could swing out and clear the game. Because if I couldn't, then he definitely had game on me next turn. So like if I didn't play this, then I would have lost that mirror match. But both of these actually felt like really good. But at the same time, you could definitely not play these cards and it probably wouldn't hurt you. Like, you know, like if you just drew like your Megadeth and stuff like that, you wouldn't need these. It's just, these are kind of like, this one for sure was like a backup option to help clear board. And then this one was just like to help me go for games. So like if you give your opponent one more turn sometimes, and like the entire outcome of the game will be changed. I played against 3 decks today that all were recovery based decks. And so like being able to go ahead and close the game out was super huge. And then of course I played one Lobomon to go over the hybrid to also help me get a game. And for my tamers, I played 3 Davis Can, 2 Davis. After the day, I kind of want to bump this card to 4. It was really insane today, being able to swing with the armor, and get purged into the Vmon, evolve into another tamer, tap this, unsuspend, swing again, that one die. I had a second one, I was able to tap the second one, unsuspend again, and then swing again. So like this tamer put in a lot of work. It made the deck a lot more aggressive whenever I had this on the board. And then Davis is, you know, just your memory tamer. It also helps you dig. I'm going to go with the tamers. I played 2 memory boosts. I also kind of wanted to go the 4 on this card. I did not have 2 additional copies though. I only have 2, so I just played the 2. The deck felt really good. It was really consistent all day. I didn't have any brick games at all. Just, you know, all your cards dig for all your other cards. And there's a lot of rookies, so you can generally Digivolve on turn 1 to get your stuff going. And then for the options, I played 4 copies of Megadeth. Those cards is insanely good. 3 Fire Rocket to help close games out quicker. I started one of my games off with like a double Vmon and a Fire Rocket on an armor. And so I took like 3 security like on my first turn attack, and that just kind of like set me up to win the game. And then we have the new extra card from, or option card from BT9. This lets you Digivolve any of your armors into the Magnamon X antibody for 3, or it's any Magnamon. So if you swing an armor and it doesn't get purged and you have this in your hand, you could actually just use that to Digivolve into a Magnamon from any of your other armor Digimon, and it'll unsuspend them because of Magna's effect. So it's another way to get you some extra swings off if you like need to. It's another way to like kind of just get one more in for the game when you need it. So like I really like this card today too. And a security effect, you add a Magnamon and this to your hand. A Magnamon from the trash and this from security in the hand if it gets hit in security. So you'll have access to it. And then the last card I played was one Ice Wall. I didn't draw this card a single time today. It wasn't in my security a single time today. I still recommend having it because it's an insanely good blue card. It's pretty much like stops your opponent from attacking for a turn. That's the list. I don't play any Hammer Sparks because I just never felt the need to Hammer Spark in this deck. You know, like most of your plays are coming from your Vmon coming out of Raising, and then you Digivolving for 2 over it with an armor, 3 if it's the Magnamon. You're almost always going to have 3 or more memory because of the Tamers. I valued Davis and Ken over Davis every time. Your Ladgermon and him will give you 2 memory at the start of every turn, so you'll get 2 more for whatever your opponent gave you. So like I definitely did value him a little more. Didn't feel the need for Hammer Spark because you don't play like big expensive costing things, and like things that pass your turn are fine. you're just going to be trying to rush your opponent down anyway. So you want it to be as consistent as possible. So that's the reason I didn't play any Hammer Sparks. But that's the list, guys. I'll probably play this same exact list in a couple weeks when I go back for the second store championship. And so I've really been enjoying this game. So like I'm super excited to go back. So I'll see you guys in the next video.